Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the combined agenda and regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council on this date, November 8th, 2023. This meeting is now called to order. Would we all please rise to honor our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilman Charles DePiero.
Here.
Councilman Michael Markell.
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Here.
Council Vice President Terrence Van Zora.
Here.
Council President Miriam Cohen.
Here. Would the clerk please read the Sunshine Law into the record?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1, posted on the bulletin board within the municipal building on December 30th, 2022, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2, printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 30th, 2022. 3, printed on the Monroe Township website. And 4, sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the council president.
Thank you. There are no presentations and proclamations for this evening's meeting. Would the clerk please read item 6, ordinances for introduction?
Sure. Ordinance O-11-2023-026, ordinance authorizing the Township of Monroe to convey a deed of easement over property at 210 Cranberry Half-Acre Road, known as Block 41, Lot 14, on the official tax map of the Township of Monroe.
And this is the JCP&L easement for the Veterans Housing Project. The resolutions for consideration under our consent agenda at the November 8th meeting are 11-23-238 through R11-2023-252. I would request that all council members please review these resolutions. If you have a resolution that you would like removed from the agenda, please so state. Anyone else? No. Hearing none, we move through. We'll move to the public comments of the agenda session. I need a motion to open public comment, please.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Or anyone opposed? Public comment section is open. This is limited to agenda items only, and as was noted earlier, 5 minutes per speaker. Anyone wishing to address the council, please come forward now. Hearing and seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public comment section, please.
So moved.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 9 on the agenda is moving right along. I need a motion to adjourn this agenda session.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned. The time is
6:34.
very good. I would like to call our regular meeting to order now, please. Motion.
So
Motion.
moved.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
Time is 6:34.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the payments of claims per the run date of November 3rd, 2023?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Second on that motion, please.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Abstain.
Councilman Markell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings as written and presented? The October 2nd, 2023 agenda and regular meeting of the council. Motion.
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. Ordinance for introduction, 011-2023-026. Ordinance authorizing the Township of Monroe to convey a deed of easement over property at 210 Cranberry Half-Acre Road, known as Block 41, Lot 14, on the official tax map of the Township of Monroe. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. Item 5 of the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda are 11-2023-238 through R11-2023-252. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. Well, moving along so quickly tonight, our administrators report, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Council President. I'll be somewhat brief. I do want to mention, as some of you may have heard earlier this morning in Helmetta, there began a manhunt for a wanted individual over by Main Street in Helmetta. The FBI was the lead on it. Apparently, it is someone from the January 6th event, and they are searching for him. The FBI is the lead. The local are more of the support. I'm not aware of any shelter-in-place warnings for anyone, but if you do see anything suspicious, certainly dial 911, and they're continuing to search the larger area of this area. But the FBI is the point. Any information that the FBI shares, we'll share through our police department as well. This past Sunday, we had a power outage over by Clearbrook and Encore. I do want to thank the police department for their quick response, OEM, construction, and all the different fire districts who responded. It was some type of power surge that was caused, according to JCP&L, by an animal, but it was certainly disruptive on Sunday, and glad that everybody is back in power now, and certainly sorting through some of those things, but in a better position. Three or four more brief things. The library is making some exciting improvements to their front desk area. Check their websites for their schedule over the next week, I believe today and tomorrow. They are, operating where you can check books out, but can't go inside just because they're finishing some of those great improvements, and I think everything should be complete by Monday morning. Some nice improvements over on Spotswood Gravel Hill Road through a $328,000 grant, so that's all now complete. As we do each year, we do our best practices inventory like every municipality. I think we had 37.5 points, well exceeding the number needed, and we always do well on the best practice inventory. And then finally, just a quick thank you to the Parks and Rec, hosted the New Jersey Sports Field Management Association. Not everybody realizes this, but we get great kudos for the maintenance of all of our fields throughout the town. We have some exceptional parks and recreation employees who manage that. It was a big honor for us to host it and for people to see our grass fields, particularly over by Danny Ryan, and so I just want to compliment them on that. So that's my report, Council President.
Thank you, Vern. Mr. Razzamott.
Thank you, Council President. Quick update on a couple of the projects. The Emergency Service Building over on Halsey Reed, the drainage project there, that's moving along. It's about 50% complete. We hope to have that wrapped up before the cold weather sets in. The volleyball courts at Veterans Park and Patriots Park are complete. They look awesome, and we're glad we got that completed while we had good weather. Veterans Park ADA restroom, then the park's maintenance facility. The building is complete. We have a TCO. There's still some punch list items that they're working on. And again, glad to have that one finally wrapped up as well. And lastly, Old Bridge Englishtown Road and Mounts Mills Road, the intersection improvements and traffic signal. That project is underway, so there will be ongoing construction out there. Please use caution in the area when you're out there, and that's my report.
Thank you very much. Council reports, I'll start with Mr. DePiero. Please.
Sure, thank you. Our engineer mentioned the Avenue K bathrooms. We were there for the ribbon cutting. Are they going to be open during the day, the bathrooms, for for the residents, or are they just going to be open during events?
Okay, does someone have
Sure.
an answer for that?
I think right now, the rec department is developing a schedule, so I'll have to get back to you on that. I know they're managing and looking at the need. So obviously we want to make sure they don't get vandalized at certain times, so I'll have to double back with you on that, and I'll have our Parks and Recreation Department report back on that.
So will we have temporary bathrooms there like we had in the past? If they're not going to be open, are we still going to have porta-johns there?
I believe they are open. I just want to confirm with the Parks and Recreation Department to understand the length at which they're open. So I don't want to speak without knowing for sure, but I believe they are mostly open.
Okay, good, because on the weekends, you get a lot of use in that park.
Yep.
And I know that we don't have workers, working on Saturdays and Sundays, so I just want to make sure that we have something for the residents to use. The roof completion on the building, municipal building, did anybody do the repairs yet in the clerk's office, drop ceiling, the possible mold remediation in the clerk's office?
So, Council President, if I may, I'm not aware of any mold. I think what DPW had said was that we're waiting for the first significant rain to come through, which is a prudent thing to do before we replace any of the tiles. So we haven't had a really significant rain. I don't expect after we have a significant rain that there'll be any problems with the roof, but we'll just wait until we have our first big rain, and then we'll replace those ceiling tiles. That's the plan of the Department of Public
I was in
Works.
the office when they were walking around and inspecting.
Okay, so the answer is, I guess we didn't have anybody look at the roof above the drop ceiling to see if there's any mold or remediation needed. Is that correct?
I think DPW does an analysis, and I have full faith in them. I can certainly double back with them if you have a specific concern, but I think they've investigated it and are, pretty good at what they do.
Right, well, the concern I have, it's been months that it has been leaking the roof, and it did take us months to get bids and get the process done, and then the change order occurred because we didn't request our building department when we went out to bid, and we all gave the approval for the initial contract, and then we also got hit with a close to $50,000 change order after our construction officials looked at it. So my concern is our employees being exposed to mold or any type of any kind of remediation that's needed. So that's my question was, do we have anybody look at it? That's qualified, not DPW workers, somebody qualified.
Right, I'll follow up with DPW. I'll let them know your concerns about their activities, and we'll see what their response is to it.
Okay, thank you. Did we, the professional services, do we have any RFQs or RFPs out for professional services? If we do, I'd like to know how many, what the professional services are, and I'd like to review all bids when the council can review it. I'd like to review all those bids.
Just as a correction on that, they're not bids, as I've explained
Bids.
multiple times. They're RFQs.
Okay.
So you're getting proposals. They're not bids. It's not a bidding process. Very different.
Okay, but I'd like to review which services,
So-
which services did we put out for RFQs or
So,
RFPs?
Council President, we're doing the same thing that we've done
Every
since
year.
the 7 years that I've been here, and the council always has an opportunity to review it.
Right.
I don't know how other entities in the town do that review, but we certainly do that review here once the township has made a recommendation, following the procurement process.
Okay, in all the years that I sat at council, I reviewed those packages that you call not bids. You say either RFQs or RFPs. So I'm asking which professional services can you name the
Sure.
28 that we put out for bid?
So what we do is, when we go out for RFQs, is we put them on our website following the procurement laws, NJSA 48:11. So they're on our website, they're advertised in the newspaper, and they're made available to everyone in the public and anyone who might want to participate in the process.
Okay, and when are they due?
So they're on the website.
No, when are the?
Oh, I haven't memorized the date. It's on the website, a public website.
Okay. So once we have them, I would like to review all of the,
Councilman, every year you've been given the opportunity to review them, so this would be no exception.
okay, thank you. On Sunday, we had appreciation for veterans. We had a nice luncheon at the senior center, and it was very well attended, and I wanted to thank everybody that put that together, and it was something that our veterans definitely appreciate, and it was something to be proud that we all have a veteran that we either know or family members or veterans ourselves. So I just wanted to say thank you to our veterans again, and I want to thank our staff that did all of that for the veterans at the senior center. I had a question on traffic signal, Joan Warren Way and Applegarth. It seems to be fallen to deaf ears on who's going to be putting this traffic light in and when this traffic light is going to go out to bid and be actually turned into a reality out there.
Mr. Razumowitz, you are in,
Sure.
Thank you.
I think I've answered this before, but again,
Yes.
this is a county road. There's an agreement in place with the county and the developer to install the traffic signal. My understanding of the developer is installing the traffic signal. There was plans back and forth with the county approval. There was changes to the electrical control boxes and some back order. And again, it's being put out by the county. I haven't gotten an update this week as to where it's at. My understanding is they were trying to get it out to construction for this year. But, you know, it is coming close to the end of the year. I'll follow up and try to get you an answer for next month.
All right, thank you. The paving at the municipal building and other offices here looks very well done, and I wanted to thank our engineer. And I know we waited for the roof to get completed, but it did a nice job, and I wanted to thank them for the contractor and also the staff that made it happen, along with our employees that worked around the construction. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Railroad tracks, Schoolhouse Road and Forest Gate Drive. I know Mark and I talked about it in the past. I don't know if there's any updates on when the repairs will be done on the railroad tracks.
Council President, I don't have any update in dealing with the railroad. Middlesex County has been in contact with them, trying to get them to respond. I've reached out to them.
No, you haven't.
It's, you know, we just keep trying. So they're getting hit from both municipal and the county. And I don't have a date for when they'll be out to do any repairs.
Okay. And then the last thing was Spotswood English Town Road. It was good to see the drainage get done, and also the repaving from the county. It was good to see that project get completed. The second time they did it, you know, properly, and I know the first time they had an issue with the roller, but it's definitely, I'm glad we got it done before the winter, and I just wanted to thank Mark. I know he was, and Center State, they were working hard on getting that done with everybody, and thank you for getting that done, that project as well. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Markel.
Yeah, I'd just like two brief statements. One, I would like to thank the clerk's office for the great job they did yesterday for the election. It's quite a job to collect 17 polling places and get it done in a timely manner. That was done very well. It's a hard job, very hard work. These ladies do a fantastic job. The other thing I want to touch on, Veterans Day, which is coming up. I was also at the Senior Center last week. There was approximately 270 people there, and it was run without flaw. Great entertainment, very nice food, and we honored the veterans who well deserve it, and as we do in this town all the time. Thank you very much. That's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Markel. I'm moving to my far left, over here. Councilwoman Siegel, please.
Thank you, Council President Cohen. Just a couple updates. Good evening, everyone. I did want to make a comment about the open space preservation. I don't know if people, the community, have seen all the press releases, but we acquired about 136 acres of land, and it's nice to see that areas preserved because so many of those areas run adjacent to some heavily trafficked roads like Schoolhouse Road, so that's really nice to see. Thank you to all involved. I know it was an effort with the township, county, and state, so thank you. Veterans Park, I know Mr. Razumowitz mentioned we were there for a ribbon cutting ceremony, and in addition to the new beautiful bathroom and changing facility, we have the sand volleyball courts, which look amazing if you haven't had an opportunity to use them. do encourage your families and kids to go out. And we also have it over at Patriots Park. So it's really nice to see those enhancements
Yep.
to our parks. The veterans events, as others have mentioned, it was a beautiful event last Sunday at the Senior Center. Great turnout. It's so nice to be able to honor our veterans. And we also have another ceremony coming up this Saturday at 9 o'clock at Veterans Park. So please join us for
Saturday
that.
morning, would you repeat? Yeah,
Yes, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning for those interested at Veterans Park is the Veterans Observance.
Yes. And I wanted to share with the community, we have our Monroe Township Diwali event happening on Sunday, November 19th at the Senior Center. We encourage everyone to come out and learn about the Indian culture and our heritage and see how we celebrate Diwali around India. Lots of cultural programming and some food to purchase from our local Indian restaurants and many vendors. So please join us for the festivities. We also have a diya lighting at dusk, so please join us. And I too want to thank the clerk's office for Election Day and all the time they spent months ahead trying to build for this day and make sure that we're all set in our township. So thank you to the clerk's office.
Yes.
And I just want to wish everyone, this weekend is Diwali, so I want to wish our residents a happy Diwali, and Thanksgiving's right around the corner too, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone also. Thank you.
Council Vice President, my immediate left next.
Thank you,
on
Madam
this.
President.
You're
I want to send a shout out to our high school sports teams. Our girls soccer team, as well as our boys soccer team, won the Middlesex County Conference Championship this year, so that was quite an accomplishment. Our boys cross country won the Central Jersey Group 4 Championship, and just last night, our girls volleyball team also won the Central Jersey Group 4 Championship for the first time in their history. So quite accomplishments by the young athletes. I also want to mention, I live right off Spotswood English Town Road, and they did an outstanding job with the paving this time, and they were very diligent in making sure that all the repairs were done first and then came through and did the paving, so the road's looking great. One other thing I also wanted to mention, we have an author in our midst tonight. Our photographer, Kyle Johansson, has authored a book. It's called Eyes of a Spore. It's a novel, and it'll be available December 1st, I understand, at Barnes & Noble. So any of you want to read a good book, a Monroe author, that would be the book to start with. Other than that, there was nothing else that I really had special. I wish everyone a great Thanksgiving, and of course, Veterans Day on Saturday, 9 o'clock. That's at Avenue K. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm in shock, so this is okay. I would just like to add my thanks for the clerk's office. I have a regular interaction with the clerk's office because they take care of the council. So I visit them regularly, and they did a wonderful job, and for that, we are all always grateful. It is efficient, they are effective, and they do it in a timely manner. And the temperature in the office always stays at a nice, normal temperature with no outbursts by anyone. This is the best news you can get. Mr. Mayor, you have a report you would like to give, please, sir.
Thank you, Madam Council
Oh,
President.
hold on.
Excuse my voice. It was a festive day yesterday,
Yes.
Election Day, and would certainly want to thank the clerk's office and echo what everyone else is saying. Being able to being able to perform under pressure with the circumstances, and then obviously being able to coordinate that event year after year, the accolades to the clerk's office. Just a couple brief items just to mention that we've seen on the agenda today. Obviously, very pleased to see some of the grants here now in black and white, the $2.5 million for open space from the state, as well as the $2.5 million for our police station, which is certainly needed. The county also contributed $3 million towards open space purchases, which is always great news. It was mentioned about Veterans Park and bathrooms, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. You know, one of my mantras was a bathroom in every park. And we're just happy to see another great facility. You know, so, you know, it's one of my things. Also, just want to mention that, you know, the Board of Ed had mentioned about in October, I'm working with the leadership towards a shared services agreement to take advantage of the $4 million ROD grant, as well as the $1 million that was budgeted from the state for the Applegarth School. Certainly, we're always wanting to keep the state dollars that go out to Trenton to come back here, and this is an opportunity. Our professionals are mapping out a game plan as we speak. Once we have the details, we'll certainly, at that point, I'll update the council on where we're headed with that. And obviously, it's a great partnership to keep those grants here, the funding in the town. The last bit of good news of money coming toward our way, this last week we learned we were awarded over $500,000 from the state from an NJDOT for the roadway and pedestrian improvements to Links Drive. This is a good-sized grant that will certainly cover a majority of the projects, so we're always happy with that. As I segue now, obviously was mentioned before about our veterans event that we had. This is a tradition here that we started. It is a great opportunity, and especially for our veterans. I always had said, you know, one of the most important jobs we have as elected officials is to be there for events such as Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 9/11. But those events always seem to be solemn. It's wreath laying, there's taps being played, and Veterans Day should be a day about celebrating our veterans as well as the family of our veterans. And we came up with the idea to celebrate our veterans here in Monroe Township at our senior center with a luncheon. We had a speaker, Lieutenant Colonel who happens to reside here in our town. He gave a very inspirational speech. And then we finish off with a very light lunch and then some music for everyone to enjoy. And it's just a great opportunity, again, to celebrate our veterans on a happy occasion, which they are so much deserve. As was mentioned, we will be having our Veterans Day services at our Avenue K Veterans Park at 9 a.m. Diwali on the 19th. I understand there might be some sort of fashion show, which I may or may not participate in. Depends if the items fit me or not. And I just want to leave it with Thanksgiving is, for me, one of the best holidays because it's all about the 3 F's: family, food, and football. No gifts. It's all about the good stuff in life. So for those of you, please enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what we have. Have a good night.
We will move to the public comment portion of the agenda. Again, I need a motion to open the public comment section, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comment section is open. You wish to address the council, please come forward, give us your name and address. And for those of you who look relatively new that I haven't seen here before, welcome. It's 5 minutes per speaker. Sir?
Tom Bartley, Monroe Township.
Street address, Tom, please.
How you doing,
Thank
Council
you.
President? I'd like to thank everybody for a nice, clean election this time around, whereas in the past, it has not been. And the way I look at things as being a veteran, fighting for my country for 5 years of my life, I like to see people get along and consider ourselves not Republican, as Thomas Jefferson said. We're not Republicans, we're not Democrats, we're people working for the people. And I congratulate everybody for working together. Now, what's going on TV right now with Congress and these radical people who are speaking out against Israel, I would like to know, and I know most of you, but being in Monroe 50 years, came from 7,000 people over here, and we basically knew everybody. But now I don't. And I was just wondering, Council President, if, and who actually on the council say yes or no, whether they're behind Israel or not.
It's not at our place to be taking a statement from our colleagues on the council. That would fall far from our purview.
Okay. All right.
Each of us is free to follow the dictates of our conscience.
Excuse me?
Each of us is free to follow the dictates of our conscience in our country.
Well, as a veteran and somebody that's always watching out for the people, me, I would just like to know if you're with us or against us in our backing of Israel, which is very, very important, that we have somebody over there that's not a fanatic.
Still, this does not fall within our purview. It does not fall within our purview to take a vote on. We are not the Congress.
What's that?
We are not the Congress, sir.
Oh, I know that.
That's probably potentially a good thing, but we are not.
Take care.
I thank you for your comments. Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward. And again, please state your name and address for the record. And you're a nurse. And they didn't need to read her shirt to know that.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Zinnikis. I actually live at 431 Hobart Road in North Brunswick. But I've lived in the greater community for 30 of my 32 years, and I'm here on behalf of the registered nurses and LPNs of Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick. So while this is not something that you could say is something that your council has the power to change, we're not asking anyone to get involved with our negotiations. We want to increase awareness about this issue. So we have been on strike since August 4th. It's an unfair labor practice strike, and our main goal is to achieve safe staffing. There has been research done that has shown that every patient over 4 that a nurse takes, the risk of the mortality increased by 7%. I would typically carry 6 patients at night. So if you're thinking about that, like maybe it seems marginal for someone else, but would you want that for yourself? Would you want that for a family member? Would you want that for, you're even like a neighbor or a close friend? And so there is legislation in New Jersey right now that has been stalled for about the past 20 years. So far before I became a nurse, I'm a second degree nurse. I was a teacher first. So I made the decision to change this profession, and I feel very strongly about it and about this issue. It's Bill S-304 in the State Senate, and in the Assembly, it's Bill A-4536, and it affects safe staffing. So it would codify safe staffing ratios for the state of New Jersey, the way they have in other states already. And this is a public health issue. As I'm sure you know, Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick is a level 1 trauma center. We get some of the sickest of the sick patients. You might be thinking, but I always go to Princeton, I love it there, or I go to Capital Health, or whatever else. Sometimes you might not have a choice. I get patients transferred from Princeton, transferred from other places because other hospitals are not always equipped to deal with the issues that come up. For example, if you need a coronary artery bypass, like if you need a bypass in your heart, that's something that you are more likely to come to us for, even if you've gone initially to another hospital. And safe staffing in New Jersey would affect more than just our hospital. It affects every person because there are situations that you don't foresee that could land you in the hospital. There are situations where maybe someone's going to be in the hospital for like labor and delivery, for example. But I'm sure if that's yourself, your daughter, your neighbor, whoever else, like you'd want to know that they have good care at those crucial moments. I work on a cardiac floor, so we see people post pacemaker insertion, post ICD insertion, post heart transplant, people who are in heart failure and need like multiple IVs, and we see a lot of patients with arrhythmias or abnormal heartbeats, such as atrial fibrillation, which is something that happens to many. It's the most common arrhythmia, and it happens more when people get older. We have largely an aging population thanks to, having more food security now, having better medical care that's more accessible. all those kind of things, and we want to be able to properly care for all of those people regardless of how you come to us. And so we're really seeking support to have each district really reach out to their assemblymen, assemblywomen, and state senators to really support these bills, because these bills need more support. Additionally, there have been some townships, I know Maplewood, Piscataway, they have passed resolutions in support of us and like safe staffing. So that's something that if it's in the realm of possibility for you, we would ask that you would consider as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I need to be very clear that I am a registered nurse whose field is public health. So just so we all know what our playing fields look like. Sir, welcome.
Hi. My name is Alan Chris Gould.
Thank you.
All right, sure. And I live at 518B Hazen Road, Monroe, New Jersey.
Mhm.
And let's see. And I've been a resident for a little over 12 years. I'm doing some advocacy here for the nurses here. That's why I'm here, and bringing them in here.
Mhm.
And so what I wanted to do, let me tell you that I'm also a Democratic Middlesex County Commission member on there from Ward 1, District 9. And so what I want to do is provide, I don't have the nursing experience, that sort of thing, but I come from a very medical family, and I, 2 doctors, 2 dentists, and a mother who was a nurse. And I'm also been a patient for many years because I was born with a heart condition. As a blue baby, it was called. So, tetralogy of Fallot.
Hello.
So I've seen the experience from both sides, and I just kind of want to summarize just briefly that, how important it is to have, enough nursing staff on hand. I would kind of equivalate it with, you all often hear the phrase of, boots on the ground. In this case, it's kind of like the white sneakers on the floor sort of thing. They're the front line, and the nurses are the ones who's really there to, provide that necessary care that they need. And if they're overwhelmed, I don't want to be the one on that call button, waiting if I've got an emergency. So, and I also have I brought some handouts here, and the other nurses will also copy
Officer, can you
them. And I have.
want to assist him with that, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so one handout is the PowerPoint, some PowerPoint slides, and there's also a sample resolution. There's also a sample resolution there. And so what we would like, our request would be is to pass a resolution by council in support of the nurses, asking for the safe staff. There's more than that, but primarily the safe staffing requirements.
Thank you, sir. Comments appreciated. Anyone else wishing to address the council, please come forward now. And again, your name and address for our records, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Margaret Anderson. I've been a Monroe Township resident for 30 years. I've raised 2 sons in this wonderful township, and since you mentioned the sports teams, they were both athletes, they both won championships, they both played college ball, so I'm very proud of that.
Your address, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We need your address for
5
our record.
Ralston Way.
Thank you.
I've been a nurse for 39 years, all 39 years at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick. And it's really hard for us to be out there for 97 days. We've been on strike since August 3rd, 97 days, and what we're fighting for is for all of you, all of us, everyone as a patient, us as nurses, and our own mental health. It's an unfair labor practice strike. It's not about money. It's not about anything else but taking care of our patients in the best way that we can do it. So these safe staffing ratios are very important, and it's important that it needs to be enforceable, because we do have guidelines, and the hospital does go by guidelines, but it's not enforceable. So when we're tight, they force the extra patients on you, and there's nothing we can do about it. So if the legislation passes, then they would be able to put a cap on what we can handle. Now, I work in the operating room, so I have 1-to-1 ratios, so the ratios don't affect me personally, but I can see it as my family is in the hospital. There's not enough nurses to take care of everyone. So they have to prioritize who needs the help, who needs it most, and who can they get away with not going to right away. So the impact of not having enough nurses and having too many patients, the impact on the patients is such that the evidence-based research studies from 2021 shows that there's a 12% increase in mortality for every extra patient a nurse has. So anyone not in the medical field that doesn't know what mortality is, that is the death rate. So your 12% chance of dying more with every patient, every extra patient, over the ratio that a nurse has. And if you're in the hospital for 30 days, that rises to 16%. So other complications are pneumonia, respiratory failure, pressure ulcers, falls, UTIs. All of this is contributes to decreased patient satisfaction. So like I said, the nurses must prioritize who gets the care, who needs it most. And we're spread too thin. Everyone is spread so thin, trying to make decisions on who needs the care. You can miss subtle changes or slight problems, and that can lead to devastating consequences. Now, I'm going to talk now about the impact on the nurses themselves. We know it's very harmful to the patients, but it's really harmful to the nurses also, this understaffing. It leaves us with poor working conditions. The nurses on the floor don't even take breaks. They don't even get lunch. They don't want to give their 8, 10 patients to another nurse to watch over while they take a 15, 20-minute break off the floor, try and get lunch and refresh themselves. They can finish an 8, 10, 12-hour day and don't even realize that they didn't even go to the bathroom. So it's really important. All this understaffing is leading to moral distress for the nursing profession. And so many nurses are leaving the profession because they can't provide the care that the nurses feel that and know that these patients need. Everyone's heard about the nurse in Tennessee. She made a mistake that resulted in a patient's death, and she's being brought up on criminal charges. So everyone's afraid. You know, the seasoned nurses know how to handle it. They can work through it, but it takes a toll on them too. What about the young nurses? They're not staying in this profession. We've had studies to show that 1 in every 5 new nurse leaves the profession within the first year. That's 20%. There's also a 20% that all current nurses are considering leaving the front lines. So what you can do as legislators, as people of the community, people representing us, is to get these safe staffing bills passed. Because it's the only way the hospitals are really going to do what they need to do to provide safe staffing for us and to protect the patients. So safe staffing is crucial to patient satisfaction, it's crucial to safety, it's crucial to morbidity and mortality, and it's crucial to nurse retention in the future of our profession. Because, like she said, everyone is going to need a nurse at some time. Everyone in this room, myself, and everyone is going to need a nurse to care for them. And you want that nurse to be able to do the right thing and be in the right.
I'm going to ask you to finish that sentence, please. Your time is up.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you a question before
Yes.
you leave. There is no bibliography with this. Do you know whose data did you draw from Linda Aiken's data, et cetera, on safe staffing? Don't need it this minute, you can.
Okay. So,
It's all right, someone else is going to talk, we're not running away so
the
quickly.
2020,
Yeah,
the National Council for State Board of Nursing concluded
That's-
that
okay,
100,000 nurses have left the profession since pandemic.
thank you.
I didn't get to go over that, but
No,
yes.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm drawing all articles that we've been doing
Okay,
all this
good.
research
Thank you.
during the strike.
Thank you, not questioning it, I was just
Okay.
curious.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now. Yes, please.
First, let me say that I was a recent patient in April of Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, and my nurses were excellent. I can't say enough about them.
Yeah, wonderful.
So my heart breaks for this strike that they're having to endure, and I have to say that as a recipient of the
Add your name and address, I'm sorry, I was caught up
Pat
in your
Swaljay.
compliment to my nursing colleagues. Go ahead.
Pat Swaljay, 586A Madison Drive, my apologies. I have to say that since Robert Wood Johnson merged with St. Barnabas, I myself have noticed a more business approach to the healthcare. In fact, I complained about it in their multitudinous, if you go to the doctor or you're in the hospital, you get a survey. So I would suggest to people who have gotten the surveys but haven't filled them out to do so, because it's very important that these businesses and the conglomerates who now own these business, it's a business for them. So I think that healthcare takes a backseat to that. So my heart is with the nurses. Having said that, as a child of a World War II veteran who was 22 when he was in the Normandy invasion, he was in the Navy, then went on to participate in the invasion of Italy and Japan. I have to say that when the Normandy anniversary came up a couple of years ago, 75th, I believe, anniversary, and one of our presidents did not attend that because he doesn't like to support losers, the people lying in the graves at Normandy, I was furious. So thank you, Mayor Delina, for the attention that you give to our veterans in Monroe. I know that when we've had club meetings for our organization in the Clearbrook complex, the veterans at those meetings have been so complimentary and so appreciative of the attention they get. And lastly, I just want to say that I would suggest to Councilman DiPiero to read the recent freight study that came out, because it addresses the traffic lights and what they're planning to do on these county roads and these regional roads. And all of these things are going to take time. This study just came out, and I know Mayor Delina had mentioned that the state had sent back the request that his administration had made, and so we're on the path to seeing some improvements in our traffic in our community. And just today, I looked at the study, so I would suggest to Councilman DiPiero he might want to peruse that, because it outlines where the county and the state are going to be focusing on the improvements that are needed, and one of them is Applegarth. So I was really pleased to see that. I would have run it off, but it's 17 pages. So, but congratulations to our mayor from persisting with keeping this issue current and really working to get some results for it. So I, as a resident, I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
I would like to also thank the residents of Monroe for coming out and supporting this team, because I think it shows that the residents are tired of the rhetoric the nastiness, that some of which we've seen at these council meetings, the hooting and the hollering when other people have an opinion. So I appreciate my fellow residents. I'm thankful for them because I think they came out and they showed that they've had enough of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your name and address for our records, please.
Sure. Brian Fabiano, 19 Patricia Place. I think what Pat was saying, Madam President, Michelle Obama put it perfectly. When they go low, we go high. And I think that is, I thought a lot about that phrase today, and I think that really summarizes what has transpired in this community over the last many months. Despite it being an election time, and no matter what you support and what rhetoric you push, you are still elected members of the council and an elected mayor with a responsibility to your constituents. And to see anybody in an elected position push a rhetoric of false information, lies, scare tactics, it's just despicable. And it's despicable because you wear two hats, and that is your elected official hat, despite what you want to achieve in your elected, let's call it, dream. But I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate Council President Cohen. Probably should have started with the mayor first, Mayor Dolina, Councilman Van Derza, and Councilman Mike Markle on your overwhelming re-election to this council and to our town. You guys work hard. You ran a clean campaign. You represent us in the community terrifically, and you always deliver on your promises. But I think it's important to also mention that despite your commitment to the community, there are a lot of people behind you that really get things done. So I'll name a few, and I'm not going to name every township employee, but there are people that I know stick out to me particularly, and that's obviously in the clerk's office: Christine Robbins, Patty Reed, Tanya Panucci, Joe Stroin; business office: Alan Weinberg, Kevin McCowan, Mark Rosimowitz, and Chief Bienis. These are people day in, day out that bring good skills to the table, work hard to make this a safe town, a respectable town, a town that we can live in and feel good about and call home. After the election is over, the things that remain will remain. Veterans housing was an important part of this council's plan. You delivered on it. It's not going away, despite some of the rhetoric. The attacks on our police department were there, but our police, day in, day out, are still protecting us, and we're still a safe community. The mayor and council has talked about and has delivered on collaborating with the town, with the school district, and making things happen with the schools. Despite the rhetoric, it's still happening. Despite the rhetoric with not having enough sports programs and not having a good recreation department, you can see the numbers of the kids that are involved in our rec programs. The council and the mayor still continues to deliver on it. So I can go on and on, but it was disappointing as a father in this town, just like many parents, to have to explain to your kids how dirty things have to get to further people's political aspirations when they can just deliver the truth and their accomplishments and they can win on it. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward. I see race. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth DePiro, 404 Spotswood Gravel Hill Road in Monroe Township. I would like to congratulate all the winners of yesterday's election. I was on the wrong side, well, on the other side, But we sit here today with our heads held high because we know we did the right thing. Well, we tried. But with respect, we still sit here to respect our council, all of our council, whether you're on one team or another, it doesn't matter. We're here for the Township of Monroe. And I just want to address to some remarks that were just recently made. There were no lies given. We tried not to do any dirty work because I want to tell you, this election was very clean on both sides. I am very proud of the Democratic team who did not pull any dirty stops, and I personally agree to that. Our side, the Republican side, also did not tell any lies. Everything that was said and done is truth and can be bound to the records if people are smart enough to look them up. But just again, congratulations to everyone, and I am proud, still proud, to be a member of Monroe Township. And we are here to help. Maybe just listen to ideas from other parties and work together, because sometimes, even though you may not like the person, the ideas are for the people of Monroe. And let's just deal together and work this out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Catherine.
Name and address, please.
Yes, Catherine Hunt, 121P Lowell Lane, and I'm here to support the nurses today. I'm an RN as well, and my background is in hospital and public health. I worked 10 years in hospital before I went into public health. And actually worked at the hospital in Kaiser, Oakland, where the nurses there and the nurses around went on a strike, 75,000 of them, and they won. So I'm out here to support these nurses here, our nurses here in New Jersey. It is so important that we pass this state staffing legislation, and I hope that you will pass a resolution and invite anybody to come out and help us with trying to get this bill passed through. We're going to be working in the lame duck session, and we hope for lots of support. The nurses will need it. And we are really fighting for our patients. The safe staffing will decrease deaths and decrease illnesses and increase people's health, and that's what we're after. So thank you very much for your help, and congratulations.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the council now? Seeing and hearing none, I am going to entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
Motion.
May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Council
No.
President, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
With the presentation that we just heard,
Taking
what
my turn
what
already.
can we, what's our next step?
Well, I was going to address that, yes. What we can do is we can gather, our attorney has the information and the bill numbers so that the council can we can get the material and be educated as a council as to what this material is. We will conference and talk and consult as to what the next step we would take. Additionally, I have been in touch with the director of the center at Rutgers University, the Collaborating Center for Nursing, Dr. Edna Cadmus, and requested that she provide us with some further information because I was aware of these two bills, so that we have an educated discussion. We will, of course, include our mayor and our business administrator. We tend to do that, and all of us will have the same information to discuss as to whether or not this will be an appropriate thing for us to do. Okay? Sounds reasonable. You're all nurses, you get that part. We do our research, we draw conclusions, we make a proposal, and then the council will come to take further action. You are always welcome. Always. You okay?
Is this something that could be expedited and possibly be on the next
We will get
agenda.
the information that we need, and then we will be able to see.
All right, and then can we notify them to
Well, of course
let
we
them
would.
know? You'll let them know?
There would be no doubt.
Okay, you'll let them know. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Can I proceed with where we were? They do this to disrupt me, right on purpose. I would like to, we did take a motion to close.
Just need a motion to adjourn.
We need a motion to adjourn. Folks, please.
So moved.
Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes,
We are adjourned. It is 7:30.
we are adjourned. We have a record.